Hello YouTube, this is DZ Maven again with another Gunpla review. So, on following up on my last review on the Real Grade Strike Gundam, the follow-up is obviously going to be this guy here, the Real Grade Skygrasper. This is pretty much a add-on kit for the Strike Gundam. If you have the Real Grade Strike Gundam, this is probably the next thing you might want to get. So let's take a look at it. Take a look at this. Probably what is one of the more unique kits of the Real Grade line here. So as you can see right here, I already have the Strike Gundam here along with the Skygrasper right here. I'm going to turn my thing on here so that it spins around for you. And as you can see, I already kind of have the Strike Gundam in a semi-official perfect strike configuration here, so you can sort of do that with this kit here with all of the parts that it comes with here. I'm going to have to probably do this review a little differently than the way I normally do them, because there's lots of different combination variations I can do with this kit, and I'm not going to go through reassembling and taking everything apart and reassembling this entire guy several times over just for the video review. So what I'm going to do here is going to talk about each of the configurations with this kit here, and I'm going to show you the photos I've taken of this kit while I have it in all the different configurations of it here. But as I've got it right now here, you can kind of get a good idea of most of the equipment that it comes with here. The only things you're probably not seeing are the actual backpacks for the individual modes. This here is the one for the launcher here, and this one here is the one for the sword backpack. And you also get this sort of display base adapter thing. It's pretty nice, along with lots of little tiny adapter pieces and other things. So let me grab the actual Skygrasper here so you can take a closer look at it here. So just like in the rest of the Real Grade line, this thing is pretty nice on the details. Bandai did not skimp out on this, despite that this is really just a support aircraft for the Strike Gundam here. There's actually a lot of detail on here. And just like with the Real Grade Strike Gundam, this kit is a little bit heavy on the stickers. So, I mean, it's your choice if you want to use all of them or not here. So we'll talk about detail wise in this part here. This is since I got everything here. Detail wise, this thing is pretty good. There's really not any real complaint. The only thing probably we want to consider painting is probably some black on the edge of the clear canopy here. Otherwise, that's just a clear piece and just looks kind of incomplete if you don't paint it in. You also get a pilot figure that goes in the cockpit here. I don't know if you can see it pretty well, but it's in there. I did a little bit of coloring on it, so it kind of looks like there is somebody in there. So it's a nice little detail. Since you usually don't get seated pilot figures with Real Grade kits anyway, this kit might actually be the exception to the rule here. You do get landing gears on here. You get 2 in back, 1 in the front here. This one here I believe is the longer one. I do have another one here which I think is the shorter one, but I just keep the longer one on here all the time. So yeah. There you do have the hatches for the landing gears. They do attach to the landing gears, but I do find they tend to fall off a lot on this kit. So I don't have them on there right now because I don't want to risk having them fall off while I'm showing these Skygrapser off on camera. Because these are very tiny parts, and they are tiny parts are prone to getting lost and falling on the carpet and getting lost, and it will take a while to find them again here. So, but as for the weapons here, you got the sword and the launcher weapons here. They're all nicely detailed. They actually match up perfectly with the Strike Gundam kit and its overall aesthetic. So there's really nothing to really say about there. Again, there's a lot of stickers on them. You can use them or not. It's up to you. So detail wise, this gets a 9 out of 10 for me, so it's actually pretty good. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot else you probably do to improve it. Just a little bit of paint on the canopy there to kind of round it out, I would say here. So articulation wise, it's, well, I mean, it's pretty much an extras kit. I mean, the only real articulation you're going to have on the Skygrasper here is that the wings can kind of move back and forth a little bit here. A little bit of adjustment on that, and the cannon will move up here. Canopy will open, but it's pretty hard to open up. It has to come up and then slide forward and then out. It's a little hard to do. I'm not going to do it on camera here because it took me a while to actually get it open, so I'm not going to go through it again here. There are some little side cannons right here. These ones are kind of annoying because they always end up getting pointed inward. It's really hard to keep them straight, so it's kind of a minor nuisance here. It's like when you're picking this up and moving this around, you're always pushing these back in again, so it ends up looking kind of cross-eyed. There are some more movable parts on these attachment things. These hatches will come up. This will actually slide out. That's mostly for attaching the shield and the beam rifle to the Skygrasper here. The shoulder pack for the sword bit will go on this side, and the shoulder part for the launcher strike will go up on this side, and of course the backpacks will attach into this slot right here on the back. Here. Actually, I can kind of show you this. This is the sword one. It just plugs right in, just like on the back of the Strike Gundam. Not too much fuss about it. There is one other point of articulation on this thing that probably gets overlooked here, but this little back thruster here, this will move down. Yay! Of course, the odd thing is this piece looks like it should move down, but it does not. This is actually fixed in place here. That does not move. It's kind of weird because that looks like it should move, but it doesn't. So, yeah. And you do have a little spot here to attach to the action base adapter right under this panel right here. That's this little piece right here. It will plug into a hole right there. So we're talking about articulation here. Probably the only other thing is the backpack for the launcher mode. It's got a pretty articulated arm on it. It can move around. It's got quite a lot of point of articulations on this actually. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of articulation on this thing. That's actually quite a lot just for an arm. But it certainly helps to move the Agni big beam gun around on the Strike Gundam pretty well. I mean, it's got basic articulation. It's kind of what you expect. So I mean, it gets a 7 out of 10 for me on the articulation here. So it works. It's good. So extras, I'm just going to go through this pretty quick here because this is an extras kit. It pretty much is all extras except for the Skygrasper itself here. You already see everything on here. This adapter thing, this can be reconfigured to have the shoulder piece on the right side or left side. I kind of wish it came with 2 of them so you could have them on both sides, but it didn't come that way. This has a little plug. You can just stick it on the action base and then have your extra weapon pack on display that's not on the Strike Gundam or on the Skygrasper here. You do get a wire for the, turn you around a little bit here a little faster. You do get a wire for this little thing, doodad here. This front piece comes off like a claw and you can stick the wire in there, so you can do that. You got a beam effect part for the shoulder boomerang on the sword right there. You can see the beam effect parts are already on the sword here. You got one on the end here and the beam blade right there here. So, and of course you got all these little adapters that are supposed to attach the. Actually, this one here. No, yeah, this one here is for the beam rifle, and this one here is for the shield. And should be one more. Yes, this one here. This one here is for attaching that little shoulder shield claw thing to the bottom of the Skygrasper here. It's actually pretty hard to get the ball joint out of this thing, I've noticed, so don't be surprised if you have a hard time getting it out. out, so it's a pretty stiff part. So yeah, this kit's pretty much just all extras, so it gets a 10 out of 10 for me because I can't really complain. It's all extras. That's what it is. So, last thing here is the value of this kit here. This is a 2012 kit. It goes for 2,500 yen, which is the same price as most real grade kits. I mean, it's not. I mean, I guess it is a complete kit. I guess if you want to think about it that way. It's not really a mobile suit, so it's a bit unusual. But no, since it is pretty much just an extras kit, and if you don't have the Strike Gundam, I'm not really sure what the point is of having this kit, because you can't really utilize the striker packs if you don't have the Strike Gundam. So, but hey, some people might want this by itself. I'm not really sure why, but if you have the Real Grade Strike Gundam, you should probably have the Real Grade Skygrasper too here. So, 2,500 yen. That's about $22. So yeah, it's about the same as other real grades. Price will vary depending on where you get it. Value-wise, it gets a score of 8 out of 10 from me. So yeah. So before I get on to the total here at the end, let me show you photos of the different configurations here and talk a little bit about those. Alright, see you in just a bit here. Alrighty here. So here we got the first configuration I'm going to show you off here. This is the launcher strike for the Skygrasper here, how it's arranged. As you can see, the backpack goes on the back, and the Agni beam rifle kind of swings up and under the left flank of the Skygrasper. There's actually a little hard point attachment on the backpack so that the fold-out handle just hooks into it and just kind of stays in place so it doesn't sag underneath it, which is really good. The weapons pack goes on the right hand side of the Skygrasper. It doesn't fit forward. It slides back. And here's just a quick shot of it on the display rack there for you here. And here it is on the Strike Gundam. As you can see, it's on there. These backpacks do tend to be a little bit back heavy, but the Strike Gundam can still stand up with them here. So now as you can see here, that really articulated backpack here, it can swing the weapon around pretty effectively, and the Strike Gundam can kind of grab onto it with its hand, and the little handle on the bottom side will swing out, and it can hold that, and it actually poses pretty well with this. You would think it probably would be a little bit more catches and hitches with posing it like this, but it actually does a pretty good job of it. I especially like the look of it when it's kneeling down and in the firing pose with this here. All right, and here is the Skygrasper with the sword striker equipment on it. And as you can see, the shoulder part is going to be on the left side of the Skygrasper. This piece here, you have to kind of take it apart to put it on the shoulder. The front and back halves come off, and the middle part just sort of clips onto the shoulder. And then you just sandwich the other two pieces around it, and that just kind of holds it on. The flap kind of has to stick out on the back of it here. On the other side, the sword, I forget exactly what it's called. It's an anti-ship sword, but there's a name for it too. But I don't remember off the top of my head. That's on the backpack, and that kind of the way that attaches. You have to open it and then close it around the wing portion of the Skygrasper, kind of the way you see it right there, in this card, and it just sticks straight out the back. Now you can put this into the attack mode just by letting the sword aim downward, and you can put the beam blade on it. I know the sword strike Skygrasper kind of did this a couple of times in the show here, so you can kind of do that for it. And also that arm shield claw thing that basically just clips onto the bottom of the Skygrasper with the adapter piece. It's not the best connection. It does tend to fall off a lot. It's kind of loosely hanging on there. So, and here's a shot of the sword equipment on the display stand. The shoulders on the other side here, and the little shoulder, the shield claw piece just kind of sticks right onto the front of it. And here is the Sword Strike Gundam. And And the shoulder piece just goes on the same way as it did on the Skygrasper, just kind of wrapping around. The little shoulder flap, of course, just aims down on it. The little small shield clothing just goes in the slot, same slot where the shield would normally be attached to, so it kind of fills that spot. And the sword just kind of hangs off the back. And as you can see here, you stick the little wire in the little claw piece, it extends out a decent way. So, I mean, the little claw on the end is not really the most impressive looking thing, though, so, yeah, it's okay. You do get that little beam boomerang on the shoulder with the beam effect part. It looks okay. There's no notches in the beam boomerang to help hold it securely, so it just kind of hangs loose inside the hand. I would suggest using the real grade hands to hold it instead of the two-piece fixed hands, because there's really no way to secure it into those. And then you have the big anti-ship sword. Again, well, yeah. You want to use the fixed hands for this because there are the little pegs on this, the little fold-out pegs that like I said before in the Strike Gundam review, I do tend to hate because they're really fragile. But you want to use those to help hold the sword steady. You can sort of try to do it two-handed, but I would recommend probably having the real grade hand and on the other hand, because otherwise you're probably not going to be able to get both hands and the pegs on the handle of this, even though it is pretty big. And the last thing here, just to kind of show you real quick here, is the configuration for the AL striker pack on the Skygrasper here. Like I mentioned, there are adapters for the beam rifle and the shield to attach to the sides of the Skygrasper, and the AL striker pack just kind of sticks right onto the back and kind of folds up pretty much as far as it can. It actually looks pretty decent this way. So, but yeah, there's really not a lot to it, but just want to show you what it looks like here. All right. Alrighty, so now you've seen all, or shown you most of the configurations with this kit. There's quite a lot you can do, including the sort of semi-perfect Strike Gundam configuration here you can do here. So the total at the end of all of this is going to be a 34 out of 40. To make it still a pretty good kit to get overall. And like I said before, if you have the Real Grade Strike Gundam, you should probably have this as well, because it kind of tends to complete the Strike Gundam. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review and found it informative and interesting. This is probably one of the most unique real grade kits out there. So because it's not actually a mobile suit, it's a sort of a support aircraft. But anyway, leave a like if you liked. Leave any comments or questions below. I'm not reluctant to answer any questions, so be sure to leave something. So, more videos are going to be coming, so be sure to subscribe so you can catch those when they come. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.